Welcome to the Revolution Show. We are a conscious family radio talk show, speaking truth, love, and freedom for all. Know thyself to love thyself. In this show, we'll be discussing topics such as how to free your mind control, higher conscious level, self-love and self-mastery, natural law, conscious parenting, social engineering, and off-gridding, along with much, much more. And now, the sacred feminine and sacred masculine dynamic twin flame Revolutionary hosts, Amy and John Paul. Enjoy the show. Hey, welcome, Big Revolution, all you beautiful spirits out there. You're tuned into the Revolution Show on Revolution.radio. My name is John Paul. My better half, Amy, is sitting this one out today, this morning, tonight, wherever you are. Love you, sweetheart. And, Sebastian, Angus, we're a conscious family, speaking truth, love, and freedom to all those that'll hear it. All right? We may be controversial. We bring the truth face to face, right, with whoever's going to hear it, and hopefully we can change. That's what controversial means, right, to come face to face with change, new ideas, concepts, letting go of beliefs, knowing over believing. Folks, we're in that age of Aquarius now, of knowing, not beliefs, not the Pisces age anymore. So we got to pull thy head out of our rear ends, right? Get those beliefs out of our heads that are controlling our perceptions and behaviors. All right. I want to start today with a very powerful quote from the documentary The Matrix. Those are documentaries. You should watch them and learn how your reality works. So the Saturn moon matrix is everywhere, folks. It's all around us. Even now in this room, you can see it. When you look out the window or turn on your TV, you can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that's been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you're a slave, like everyone else. You were born into bondage, born into a prison. You cannot smell or taste or touch a prison for your mind, says Morpheus in The Matrix. Wow, powerful quote. That's why we say free your mind control, because we are all under that mind control to a degree. Right? Even the most awakened, enlightened being on the earth has some mind control, some fears, some, those are part of growing up in this three-dimensional reality as a human. We're all programmed, starting with the parents. That's what is very important, right? And we've been taught over the years to hand our kids over to the state, which is very, very dangerous. Right? Very dangerous to their minds, to their evolution, to their spiritual development, emotional, physical, mental, all of it. All right. And they don't teach moralities in schools because everything about them is immoral. Okay? They are prisons for our kids. You cannot leave when you want. You cannot go wherever you want. You want to go to the bathroom, you got to raise your hand. and ask permission, right? And there's where the authority, the belief in authority comes in. That program gets put in very early on, right? In the school systems. They know the first 7-8 years is very powerful, formatting a child. And that's why they want kids when they're 2 now. They want them 2 and 3. So they got at least 5 years of programming. They know they'll have them for the rest of their lives as obedient slaves, docile, and compliant. And that's what they want. They don't want strong, knowledgeable, loving, caring, honest people, all right? They want you believing in something, and they got plenty of new age bullshit to believe in, old religions to believe in, sports teams, all right? All that external nonsense, television shows, Hollywood nonsense, that we look up to these people, all right, while they're programming us and influencing us, taking our power away, teaching us to think that it's cool. The death cult that's running the show here, folks, that the Matrix is run by a death cult. Death is cool. They want everything dead. That's why they're merging us with the robots right now. They want consciousness dead. They want it controlled. They don't want people connected to nature and the earth and connected to each other, helping each other, working together. They want competition, right? War. That keeps us in that low Saturn fear frequency, Saturn moon fear frequency that is projected from Saturn. Big, huge transmitter is the moon, blasting it down on the earth. All right? And we don't think this affects us. We don't know anything about it. We got to look into things, do our research, learn about the moon, the planetary structures are all connected, everything. All right, we got our head out there in the solar, in the universe, but our feet are on the ground here. We know we're enslaved. We know we got to help wake up our fellow brothers and sisters in consciousness and get out of this chaos, right? The law of freedom is the more moral we are, the more free we are. The more immoral we are, the more enslaved we are. Okay, very simple. We got to learn this and know that your neighbor's ignorance is your own enslavement. And everyone in your neighborhood, your town, their ignorance keeps you enslaved. And so, helping to wake people up with information, informing them so they can be informed instead of misinformed or disinformed, out of form, right? That's when fear comes in. That's when they take our power, our control, scare the crap out of us, right? Through false flags, problem, reaction, solution. Then you control us through fear. Set a bomb off somewhere and everyone will go ape shit and panic, and then we got them. They'll do exactly what we tell them. And so that has been the controller's modus operandi for a long time, using that, right? Problem, reaction, solution. They bring in the bomb, get the reaction from the people they want, and move in the direction. They bring in the solution, moving in the direction they want, covertly. Well, we think it's for our safety, because they care. All right? But they don't care about us. They're exterminating us. How could they care about us? Okay? Let's be real, folks. We're here. We're very real here at the LUV-A-LUTION. If you're just tuning in for the first time, right? Love is the only truth in this 3 dimension. And the truth is ugly, very, very ugly, okay? That the pedophile, psychopath, Satanists are running the show, right? At the top of these pyramids, the hierarchy, which is all Saturn related, money tied to Saturn, institutions all tied to Saturn, hierarchy, Saturn, all right? Every job you've ever had is a hierarchy, mandatory. That word is terrible. That means ownership over your ass. We got you. You must obey. It's like an order, basically, to a citizen, making stuff mandatory. All right? So that word's very dangerous, mandatory. And, jobs, they teach us that in school. Mandatory this. You got to come every day. You got to sit in your seat, and now you're going to learn. Yes, and wanted to just plug Rev Radio, this amazing platform that lets us blast out the truth uncensored. We've been censored all over the place, and we appreciate them taking the time to create this great platform. Revolution.radio and freedomslips.com to donate. All right, all the hosts volunteer their time, and that's what we need, more volunteerism, okay, and less coercion. Everything should be voluntary, all right? Then we could have some true harmony and peace in this world, all right? If we all could respect each other and see that we're all interconnected energy. You are me, I am you. You're over there having that experience subjectively in that human suit. We're over here, right? That's one consciousness, one love that we feel through our hearts and through our heads. That's that. What you feel when you're out in nature, earthing on the ground, getting Mother Earth's great energy. And it's a very low point right now where we are, very cold. We're going to get a blizzard here pretty soon, a foot of snow. And it's harder to keep your vibration up in the winter, cold. We get why people live in Florida and California and warm tropical places. All right? Wherever you are. Hope you're enjoying some warmth and sunshine. Because, you don't have to live in the harsh coldness. Right? No one said you had to. And if you don't like your movie, we encourage people. You got to change it. Change it up. Right? You don't like the cast members? You don't like the people in your life? Change. Change is good. Change is great for the soul. That's how we evolve, folks. And evolving to become Levolutionaries, right? Trying to better ourselves. That's a Levolutionary you may hear of us speak of. There are many out there, right? There are many people that have freed their mind control, thankfully, and have informed us of their information and their findings and their perceptions. And big thanks to all those out there that have come before all of us now to speak the truth and inform the brothers and sisters of this earth what's going on. Right? All right, so they use that population control through our mind control. And that's how they got us, folks. They know with how we think controls our behavior. Perception is behavior, and our perceptions are how we think and how we see the world and ourselves in it. And so they do this through epi-eugenics, right? Basically downbreeding the population to get us to cull ourselves, right? have us just be addicted to garbage food stuff, no nutrition anywhere in most people's daily diets, right? And that way, they breed out the strong, the courageous, the brave, the knowledgeable. And that is called epidysgenics, which destroys populations, right? And we're culling ourselves right now, folks. We're getting merged with AI like crazy. All right, let's be real. I am a human, by the way. This is not an AI-generated show. Okay. We got feelings, emotions. We got needs. All right. We're doing this show because we care, though. We got kids. We care about our kids. We care about everyone's kids. We wish we could teach everyone's kids natural law and right from wrong behavior. And that's why we plan on opening a school to do this, a morality school. Teaching right from wrong behavior, true skills, true knowledge of self. Know thyself to love thyself. Okay? That's it. Right there. That's it in a nutshell. Powerful. So, morality is knowing the objective truth between right and wrong. Right behavior, wrong behavior. Right is any action that doesn't cause harm to another sentient being. A wrong is an action that does initiate harm that you don't have to take. All right. Most people don't know this, and so we're in chaos and enslaved. Right. Like Thomas Jefferson's amazing quote: "If a nation expects to be ignorant and free, it expects what never was and never will be." Okay. Ignorance is like the biggest, hurdle. If they had a knowledgeable population, they couldn't control us in the least bit. But they have us in ignorance, and they got us. They got. We'll hand over our power when we're ignorant. We're fearful, right? We're fearful. We'll give up our power to any external source, whoever, that says they're going to protect us. That's what Big Daddy government, their role is, and how they can control us, saying, "Oh, we care. We're going to take care of you. Here's a little peanuts. Here's a little carrots for eating." And morality is doing right no matter what you're told. Religion is doing what you are told no matter what is right. H.L. Mencken. Wow, thank you for that powerful quote. And morals, again, are not taught in schools because everything is immoral in schools. Everything is forced. Everything is coercion. Do this, you shall obey. It is to dim our light and separate us from our souls and to accept the slavery that is upon us. Right? And our school will be teaching knowledge, no beliefs, right? We got a whole curriculum set out. We got activities. We got a whole nature section. We got a spiritual section teaching kids about themselves. We're never taught anything about ourselves in school because we know ourselves. It's game over for them. Control's over, right? We got an educational section as well, 4 sections of curriculum, and they can choose anything they want. There's no grades, okay? the educational. We got things like the trivium process, right? Grammar, logic, rhetoric, natural law, of course, objective morality, how to think, right? Writing and math for the real world, of course, not frickin' algebra, where you're never going to use it. Tesla's technologies and hermetic principles, of course, in that section. So teaching kids the hermetic principles, holy cow, how powerful these young children would be with that knowledge of self, psyche, and their reality in play. Wow, how powerful he could be. And yeah, just a friendly reminder, if you're in the cold winter, feeding those birdies, we're big birders, and try to help feed those birdies in your area, wherever you are. They have it real tough, much harder than humans, and they're so tough, sleeping in the most frigid temperatures. Some of the birdies, like blue jays, chickadees, and juncos, are unbelievably tough. Wow. Sleeping in negative 50-degree weather with the wind chill storming. And these birds, they have no food source in the winter. And we enjoy feeding them and enjoy observing them. And yeah, suet, of course, if you don't know what that is. Help those woodpeckers. So, love all the birds. Huge birders. Here we got bald eagles taking over this area. And we got all sorts of golden eagles. What else? Turkey vultures. Well, they've all left. All the other birds, they've gone south mostly, but the ravens and crows stay here with us. Very smart birds. The natives thought the raven was the creator of the world. A lot of tribes, they revered the raven as a creator. Anyway, or maybe a symbol of it. So, yeah, would you trade in your arms for wings, folks? That's the question, right? Or do you want to be the caterpillar, or do you want to be the butterfly? That's what the Levolution is about, transforming yourself from the caterpillar. Like that book we all read as a kid, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, who on Saturday, that's a book to program the children with the days of the week and whatnot. Most books all have a lot of Saturn symbolisms, and kids' books, it's incredible. We've been reading for the last 8 years, kids' books, and man, the programming in there. But anyway, I digress. We were talking about, anyway, I forget. Anyway, so yeah, folks, it's cool to be moral. It's cool to do the right thing. But this society makes it look cool to be an asshole, to harm others, and to be greedy, and not give a shit about anyone but yourself. And that's Satanism, folks. It's not a man with horns and a big red cloak. Satanism is the ideology of self-preservation, me, over anyone else, me and mine, and screw everyone else, and I'll elbow and punch them in the face to get ahead of them. Okay, that's Satanism. Okay, competition. Think that low vibration. Those jitters before you play a game or something you got in your stomach because you're going into a small mini little battle, right? You gotta really hurt that guy or make them pay. You want to beat them. And It's all very low vibration. I experienced it growing up playing very competitive hockey and lacrosse. And so it was just, yeah, thought that was it. You're supposed to get out there and go nuts, and then, yeah, everyone loves you. And you just, try to get that puck in the net or that ball in the goal. And that's freaking, yeah. And, yeah, sports hold us back in our evolution, folks. They're games, all right? The controllers knew, give them bread and games, we'll distract them for their lives, okay? We got adults playing games, getting paid millions of dollars, hundreds of millions. That's absurd, right? These teachers of knowledge should be getting $100 million contracts, not teachers and influencers of garbage culture. That just me culture, narcissist culture they created with the smartphones, get us hooked on the smartphones, the selfies, taking pictures with ourselves all day, updating, getting thumbs up, all this pathetic validation, all right? A true person that knows themselves doesn't need validation from anyone, okay? They know who they are, why they're doing what they're doing, why they move. All right. That validation, that comes from mommy and daddy issues. We need to be validated because mommy and daddy didn't tell us we did a good job. They didn't say we were proud of you. Ever. Okay? And it's real. A lot of people they don't have supporting, loving parents. Most of us didn't. They did the best they could, but they didn't have the most loving, kindest parents because their parents were ignorant, right? Apathetic, lazy, and cowardice, right? And that just leads us into those 4 most powerful words to keep you from yourself: laziness, cowardice, ignorance, and apathy. Those 4 words will keep you from yourself for lifetimes, many lifetimes. Not caring, not doing anything, not caring to know anymore. All right? I don't want to know that. No, that to ignore what is. That's the root word of ignorance, right? It's ignoring. Ignorance. All right? Being responsible for yourself is a big part of being a revolutionary. Self-responsibility, self-respect, taking your power back, knowing when to use the most powerful word we have, no. Okay, no, no, no. You have to know KNOW to say no. N-O. You got to have that knowledge in order to take the power back. Otherwise, you're in fear and you'll comply. Okay, I'll agree to get a jab. I'll agree to put a mask on. I'll agree to get a chip. All right. We got to say no to all these things, folks. That's taking that power back. Right? The internal monarchy, the internal ruler. You are the internal ruler of yourself. The extreme authority. There is no authority outside of you. It's a lie, illusion. That's the matrix. Now we all think, is this legal instead of, is this moral? We all think, is this okay? Am I allowed to do this? Do I have to ask permission? And that's taught through the school system. Right? Yeah, we hand over these kids blindly. We used to, when they first introduced the schools hundreds of years ago, we said, no way, we're not giving you our kids. And now it's the other way around. We just hand them over, so thankfully. It's like a big babysitter system, folks. And it's not safe, okay? Not at all, not in any way. The bus drivers, they're on drugs, drunk, who knows? Pills, whatnot. They're driving your kid to school every day. Then you got wacky kids in there that want to go be a shooter, you know? That ain't safe. And so they have basically created these schools now to be even way worse than when I was raised. And I'm 46. And so I saw a video about a guy talking about how we would not put up with what the kids, how prison-like the schools are now. We would not want that upon our worst enemy and never put up with that type of control as adults, like the kids. But because they're the most vulnerable group of people, the children, right? Because adults are bigger means we can tell them what to do. No. We have to respect these young beings coming into the world and guide them, be stewards, not authority over them. We don't own our kids, folks. You don't own them. They own themselves, okay? You don't own anyone. That ownership is just like a government psyche, brainwashed, mind-controlled psyche that thinks it's okay to control a little child. You want to guide them, teach them not to do certain things, let them know there's dangers and hazards in certain places and situations. But it's to, showing your child the right thing. That's how they learn, right? Monkey see, monkey do. They see you do something, they do the same thing right after you. And they love mimicking your behavior. So that's why it's so important as parents to show that moral behavior, honest behavior, caring behavior, love for your mother, love for the woman of the house. We got to pick up our women, men. We're not just resources to take care of the bills. We got to be there emotionally, protect our women, spiritually, listen to our women. Men, we have a tough time listening. We want to solve all the problems. And just solving the problems. We don't listen. We might listen to the problem, but we don't want to just not solve the problem. But sometimes, men, we got to shut up and be quiet and not just let her talk and let her get out how she feels. Because we're very different. Men are from Mars. Women are from Venus. You can read that book. Right? Very powerful book that'll supercharge your relationships. It's like a 30, 40-year-old book. Timeless, though, with relationships. There is no guide in relationships, folks. They're work. They're like a garden. You got to put in the work if you want to get some fruit or some yield from your veggies or whatever you got. So, doing that work relationship-wise. All right, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Don't forget that. We got to support each other. They want us so divided, okay? That's how they created the women's lib movement, to get women out of the house, into the workforce, into the, you could tax them, so you got double taxes, right? And you got the care being eliminated, the sacred feminine care, the nurturing care of being home, a home body, and caring for the children. And basically they destroy that. They want that independent woman, do it on her own. We don't need men. No. And that's how they play us against each other. Of course we need each other. Of course we do. Okay? That's why we're here together. Alright? It takes balance in ourselves, men and women. We gotta do in that inner work, right? That's what we talk about, the shadow work. Whether it's meditating, journaling, getting into nature, getting to stillness, and being alone. We have to be alone in order to do that inner work. And I've been alone a lot in my life. And now I have an amazing family that just, I can't even believe it. So it's very thankful for them. I love them so much. And because I love myself, right? It all starts within. I've done a lot of inner work. I've been alone a lot. I've been in horrible situations, been in a cage, been in a freaking, with nothing. So, been in these institutions. Oh my goodness, they're just all wrong and all to dim your light and to correct your behavior. All these institutions are to control, correct, adjust your behavior so you stay in line and you're a good member of society, meaning a good, ignorant slave. Right? That's not what you want to be, folks. We want to raise strong children. That's what it means to raise children, just to spiritually make conscious a person. Right? That's how we raise our children. To teach them the love of nature, right? The love of everything. Even that little ladybug. We don't have the right to just smush it, right? Or that little stink bug. We don't have the right to crush that little guy or girl. We don't, it wants to live just like you. Right? We got to, put everything as ourselves. That's loving yourself, okay? The Catholic Church, the Christians tell you that self-love is the most dangerous thing. Why? Because it basically would release the control that religion imparts on us. Where if we loved ourselves, we wouldn't need religion. We wouldn't need to get together in these little churches, right, where they harness energy from us when we have no idea what we're worshiping. 99% of the people in there worshiping something out external. And it's all a farce. We got to go within. We got to go within. A huge part of the spiritual journey, the shadow work. You don't go within, you're going without. And then you're screwed. You got to know thyself. Or else you're going to lose mostly every battle, every challenge that comes about in your life. Right? Where life's full of challenges. We all got them. And try to limit them, but they teach us. They're lessons to learn. What's this teaching me? We got to ask ourselves. Life never stops teaching us. So we can never say, I'm done, I'm good, I know it all, I'm stopped, I'm going to just stagnate. And that's involution. Right? We got to keep raising that frequency or else it's getting lowered. You're either getting more knowledgeable or you're getting dumber, folks, with your choices and your decisions and your actions on a daily. Right? Knowledge dissolves fear. And like that fear of somebody going out into the woods to shoot a beautiful animal that's just minding its own business. That person is in fear of that animal due to lack of knowledge of it. It doesn't know about a deer, what a deer is like, what a life it leads, what its challenges are. They got it so tough, folks, deer out there. And they're beautiful creatures. Amazing. Okay? The moose, too. People show off and shoot them around us and think it's really cool and post pictures of them with a dead moose or deer with the tongue hanging out. Women, now more than ever, too, there's pictures of women killing deer. Now that is a very ingenuine woman, okay, that is not connected to her heart whatsoever, who's going to go out and shoot a deer dead that's just, running for its life in the woods. How would you like that? Folks, all you hunters listening, if any of you hunters, I can't stand hunters, but I love them. I just can't stand the action they take. I love everybody, but I don't like the actions and behaviors of a lot. Okay? That we could do that to another beautiful creature that has to survive out in the roughest conditions. And it's got to worry about some dummy coming out there with a gun and a beer, most likely. Half the hunters out there are drunk, shooting from their cars. That's what we got, poachers all around us, shooting right from their cars. They don't get out. Lazy hunters. Some guy shot 5 deer and just left them all near us. And a complete, just horrific, dude, just to kill those sweeties. For not even take them. Man, that's just completely wrong. All of it's wrong. You don't have the right to destroy that deer. You didn't create it. And so we have to know that. And, society needs to come before the individual's needs. Society's needs come before the individual's needs. That's Adolf Hitler said that. And also, later on, Hillary Clinton said that we must stop thinking of the individual and start thinking about what is best for society, said Hillary Clinton, that jackass. Anyway, just saw these 2 quotes. They're exactly the same. Adolf Hitler, society's needs come before the individual's needs. And Clinton said, we got to stop thinking as individuals, start thinking what's best for the society. No, that's the trap, folks. That's the trap. Think for yourself. Don't do what you're told. All right? Know what's right. And know all these clown politicians are pedophile psychopaths, okay? They're not like you and I. Not at all. And a very small amount of people control the very large amount of people. It's very disturbing that we go along with these clowns, but because they got gangs, they got organized gangs called police and military, and they look nice. They got cars, guns, and technology, and they'll all shoot your ass or throw you in jail or one or the other. So that's how they keep us compliant, right? Shout out to our boy Dan Arnold, who was an X-Order follower. Dan has a show Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. Coffee Rant with Dan. Check it out. Studio A. And Dan was following orders for a long time, and he had a spiritual awakening and is now teaching people morality and the truth And so it's amazing to see that radical change that someone can make. And just like I was so asleep, 10 years ago. And, or maybe, my first awakening was in, when was it, 2011? I was 33, I'm 46, so about a little more over 10 years. But then, the Matrix pulls you back in. And then when I met Amy, we could kind of go on that spiritual journey together. It was amazing. And I'm so thankful for her as my soulmate, twin flame. Love you so much, honey. And never stop loving you. And because I love myself. And we just were like best friends instantly. We knew we'd had past lives together. And we were ready to learn together. We had that love of learning, which kind of nurtured that evolution. We went on our Love-Evolutions together, which was pretty exciting. And had our child, Sebastian, about 8 years ago. So anyway, I've been waking up for a long time, but around 2011 is when my first epiphany came out in California. I realized it was all a lie, and my heart chakra opened up. Everything was lies, lies, lies. And I had to do some research. I had to start looking into shit. Read that book, the book they taught us about the Bible. The greatest story ever told, folks. So do your homework. Like Jordan Maxwell says, we got to do our homework. And balance ourselves in order to bring balance to the world. All right. We got to do that inner work and not fall into the trap of moral relativism when we can decide what's right or wrong. No. Okay. Natural laws aren't arbitrary. They don't change with location or anything. They're inherent, unmutable, and you can't change them anywhere you go. They're here. The scum at the top know these laws. That's why they have those gangs in place to do their enforcement. Okay, the police and military. They pay them. They're paid mercenaries. All right, they paid to do harm and follow orders and do what they're told. All right, and they want people to go into these new agencies for the immigrants here. No. That's just all the same shit from way back Nazi Germany, right? The SS. The people coming to, they thinking they're serving a good cause, but no. It's all wrong. It's all following orders. Okay? We gotta walk away from all these places. Walk away from government jobs, period. From the politics, the politicians. Ticks are parasites, like our buddy Dan says. We don't listen to parasites, and they're all there to distract you, folks. And I'd like to see more people talking less about the dumb politic paradigm on this radio platform. All right, it ain't changing red, blue. All right, they care about you. No, they don't. It's just like WWE. They're gonna make it look like they hate each other. All right, as Passio calls it, the kayfabe fighting, or the kayfabe form of acting, where they look like they're adversaries, but they're not. They're all buddies in the locker room hanging out. And red, blue, they don't care about you. Okay? None of them do. And they want you acquiescing. They want you arguing with your family, with your neighbors, about who's better. We got to get on a higher conscious level. It's about levels of consciousness here. That's what we're here to do. Go up the ladder of consciousness, not down it, because we're acting less than animals. We've become less than animals, folks. because animals don't even kill each other just for fun and sport. And that's what we do, though, all day. We have no care. They've destroyed it. They've sucked love right out of our society, as David Icke once said a while ago, which is so true. They've completely pulled love out of the equation. It's just love of money, love of stuff, love of consumerism, love of, that this selfish self, that narcissistic love. I don't see it anywhere. I don't see love anywhere. In relationships, I barely see it. I've seen a few where people actually cared of each other, and that inspired me to be patient and not settle, because I knew Amy was around the corner. I waited a long time. I didn't meet her till I was 37, and it was all worth the wait, folks. Don't settle in your relationships. That's my point. Do not settle. If there's a problem or there's a something small, it'll only grow and grow and grow, and you'll regret it later for maybe not getting out or not addressing the issue or problem. But we got to also have the mentality to love that person for all they are. We all got errors, idiosyncrasies, and bad programming, but not to want to go in a relationship to change somebody, but to be the best you can be in that relationship. We got to love ourselves in order to have a true loving relationship. We got to love ourselves, folks. We'll fall flat on our faces without loving thyself. You cannot give. All right, you have to get your needs met and take care of you and doing your inner work, letting go of your abandonment issues from mommy and daddy or how family treated you as a child, and healing yourself. That's up to you. Not how you were treated. We can't control that. But healing those traumas that took place, right? Forgiving. That's a big thing about healing and inner work, is forgive. Can you forgive that person who treated you like complete garbage, or you had this horrible, experience with? Can you forgive that person? That is a true, strong person that can let it go. And you forgive. You don't forget everything, but you can forgive. All right, and it's not holding grudges, dwelling on something that happened in the past. In a world so ensconced in lies, speaking the truth becomes a LUV-A-LUTION-ARY act. That was a quote I wrote down. I just had it one day in my head, and I just thought, in a world so fake or ensconced in lies, living or speaking the truth becomes a LUV-A-LUTION-ARY act. All right. So a little truth about the police. They exist to coerce human beings into obedience to the decrees or laws of the occult ruling class. Occult just means hidden. There's a hidden ruling class that you will never see. They're behind the politicians. They're behind all this crap. They never will see them. And they're the fat cats, they call, or the banksters, some people call them as. Police exist to conduct violence upon human beings who disobey the decrees of the occult ruling class. Policing is based upon duress, which means compliance under the threat of violence. See, most people don't even know they're under duress 24/7 from the minute you wake up. You know, we feel it when you go out on the road if you're driving. Oh my God, I gotta stay in the lanes and on the speed limit. I don't want to get pulled over and thrown in a cage or have to pay a big fee. Right? That's all immoral behavior, what they do. All right, policing is in direct opposition to natural law because the very idea of police is built upon the false belief that some people delegate non-existent rights to others, which is not true, folks. Take your power back. Protect yourself. Love yourself. We love you. Know thyself to love thyself. Free your mind control every week with us at 10 a.m. on Studio A. John Paul of Truth Revolution signing out. Love you, love yourself.
Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio.
Are you sick of the lies? Are you ready to know thyself, to love thyself, and align to the true laws of nature? Well then wake up with the LUV-A-LUTION Show with your hosts, Amy and John Paul, where we speak all about truth, love, and freedom. We're on every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time in Studio A, right here on Revolution Radio. And remember, only you can free your mind control. Be a LUV-A-LUTION-ARY.